Hi, and welcome to Ask Your Guides Friday. I'm Ruta.
And I'm Edie. We're going to be using Ask Your Guides. These are oracle cards and they are created by Sonia Croquet, and that will be listed in the description box below. You can take a look at that if you're interested in these cards later.
So as we're shuffling and connecting to our guides, allow yourself to center yourself into the stillness, into the moment of now, and connect to your guides. Whether you're aware of them, of their presence or not, they're always there with you. And so today we're going to take a moment to actually connect with them and receive the message that they're trying to give to you.
So we have the shadow, the divine healers, we have priorities, master teacher, we have decisions and higher self. We also have, as an overall theme, loss and healer guides. So as I look at the overall energy of this, it seems to permeate energy of difficult decisions. However, these were necessary decisions. There are priorities in our life that we sort of hid in the background, in the shadows of life. It created a lot of loss and sorrow for us. And this also, it seems to me that the theme of what has been happening this past, I'm going to say for some of you up to a year, possibly even 2 years, that there's been a lot of emotional loss. But once again, those steps and the energy of healing those things is to take a look at those things and to make proper decisions about where we need to go in life.
So something that to pay attention to is, although you're finding yourself in the space and the times remote from other people, perhaps even alone, have an awareness that the guides, the invisible guides, are always present.
They're always with you.
Yeah, and they're no matter what you're going through, they're going through it, and they're directing. They have always the what's best for you.
They see the outcome, and we may not always see the outcome. And when we tune into that, they help us through our loss. They support us. They are definitely there. And the energy of being alone, that energy of loss makes us feel separation from the rest of the world, the rest of humanity. And I feel that the guides are now trying to tell us this is the time that we must gather together as community and support each other. We can't leave people out of that equation. We're here together. We're here together on this planet at this time to share something beautiful. We're here to share our God and Goddess energy with each other, to create worlds for ourselves that we never even dreamed of possible. And our guides are here to help us through all of that. The part of that is I guess maybe the understanding of certain losses give us also that depth in life that allow us to have empathy for ourselves and compassion for ourselves. We also have self-respect come out of that. Along with self-respect, I feel sometimes it's not even a matter of self-respect, but maybe even competence. How competent do we feel about what it is that we're making a decision about? If we have all the information before us, we can make a fairly competent decision, and then we feel confident. that we can do it. But it doesn't come the other way around. You don't get confidence from nothing. The confidence comes from making the mistakes, from inspecting your shadow and loving that part of yourself, loving yourself that you went through difficult times. And maybe we're not always the greatest person to another person, but that allows you to see the depth. Once you go one way, you can always go the other way. So it allows you to see the depth of how deep your love can go. And that includes love for yourself.
What I'm sensing is that the cards are trying to tell us, the guides, they're speaking through the cards. They're trying to let us know, to bring the awareness that there's a sense of not only support, but there's this sense of like, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to try so hard. It's okay.
Every one of these cards has hands coming down and guiding us in each and every single situation in our life. There's never a time when they're not there. There's never a time when we're alone. We may feel alone with our thoughts. Maybe that's a necessary part of growth, right? A necessary part of growth. I'm picking up also, there's a group of you, probably about 12 of you, who are going to be on a spiritual journey. That your guides will really connect in with you. And I do feel, it seems to me that it comes through a book. Like, I feel like there's about 12 of you out there that are going to go to some type of a bookshop, possibly a metaphysical shop, but more like, a typical bookshop. And you go when you have some understanding about a specific subject. And it's concerning spirituality, and you do become spiritual teachers. And these lessons of loss and inspecting the shadow self is work that you've done to become this. And to become this, you now have the experience, the wisdom, and the know-how to help other people through this. I also feel that there are some people going to work with psychology that are listening to this within that realm. And some of you might be a social worker working with children. And I feel that, please ask your guides to help the children you're working with, the families that you're working with. And people, if you're having difficulties with family and possibly boundaries, I feel within that, ask your guides to help you express your boundaries healthily so that you are not depleted. Understand that this balance comes in when the spiritual energy of doing what your contract says you're supposed to do, that you've agreed to before you came here. What are your priorities? When you do that, then when you put that in line, then it seems like everything else filters through and balances out. I'm getting a huge message that we must ask the divine healers to help work through pain. And not just ask them, but there's times where I kind of want to say there's a point where there's been so much loss and so much doubting of the self that you sort of get down on your knees and pray and say, please help me. So maybe be a little more specific when you're doing that. Guides, please help me through this loss, or help me through understanding what my priorities are, or help me make the proper decisions. Help me look, the hardest thing to look at what you do wrong. It's never pleasant to hear, oh, I'm doing something wrong, from anybody. So it's always that first initial sting hurts, but get past it. That's how we grow. Get past it and learn to accept that you know, we have our faults as well that irritate other people that we have to work through. And sometimes it's just an agitation with ourselves. It's not even about anybody else. And if we cannot project that onto anybody else, then we're able to heal all of that and really just, you know, let it move through us. Give some of the burden to your guides. Give some of the burden to your guides. I'm also picking up that those of you who are drawn to working with crystals, might be a good idea to work with your crystals. The ones that you have, I want to touch a little bit on cleaning the crystals. If you're using them regularly, please give them a bath in water. They love to be cleansed, and they do the work for us. They will help do some work for us, but we have to cleanse and allow them to receive the energy. So if the stones are cleansed, then they're able to flow more energy to you. And those of you who have been through a very difficult heartache, please, I feel the guide, ask them. I feel there are some that your hearts are physically hurting. There's so much pain there. And so those are the ones that are suffering from that heartache. Allow the guides to physically massage your heart so that you have some relief from that pain. Getting involved in community seems to be also very much supported at this time from your guides. And getting as much sunlight as possible also seems to be another message. So I believe that is all for the reading for today, and I hope you've enjoyed Ask Your Guides. We'll try to do this every Friday. Enjoy your day and enjoy your weekend coming up, and we will see you tomorrow.